Colton Burpo's Miracle, a look at the sky. Imagine for a moment, a child of just 4 years, on an operating table, living an experience that goes far beyond what anyone could imagine. During those moments when her life seemed to be on a thread, something extraordinary happened. He says he visited the sky. What he saw, felt, and heard changed forever not only his life, but also the life of all around him. You may be wondering, did this really happen? How could such a young child describe so clearly what is beyond this world? What he saw so impactful that even the most skeptical wonders, what if it's true? In this video, let's dive into the incredible story of Colton Burpo, a boy who claims to have known heaven, seen Jesus, and experienced something that many of us can only imagine. In every detail revealed, you will be led to question your beliefs, to think about what happens after life, and perhaps renew your faith. Stay until the end, increase the channel, and share this video, because what you are about to find out can completely change the way you see the world and what comes next. Colton Burpo, a 4-year-old boy, lived an experience that would change his life and that of his family forever. During emergency surgery, Colton has undergone an experience that many call heaven visit. What he saw and heard in this brief period was a detailed account that even left the most skeptical in doubt. When he returned to life, he began to describe what he saw so clearly and in detail that his story spread around the world. Many believe that Colton's experience was a true proof of the existence of a sky, a place of peace and light, where he found people he had never seen, but knew by name. He described angels singing and spoke about a loving Jesus who took care of him while he was out of his body. These words, coming from such a small child, had a powerful impact on everyone they heard. His family, especially his father, who is a pastor, has initially had difficulty believing in the story. After all, what happened was too supernatural to be easily accepted. But over time, the details that Colton brought, as meetings with relatives he never knew in life, convinced his family that something truly divine had happened. This was the beginning of a journey of faith and spiritual renewal for many. Colton's report was widely documented, not only in books, but also in interviews and documentaries. This made people around the world wonder, is there really life after death? Colton's story has moved hearts and minds, bringing out a deep discussion about spirituality and the existence of a larger plan beyond our earthly understanding. Colton's experience also brought consolation to thousands of people who lost loved ones. Many have found hope in the idea that heaven is real and that those who departed are in a place of peace. This has been a source of strength for families and individuals fighting the pain of loss, providing them with a more serene view of what comes after death. Although some skeptics continue to doubt, the story of Colton Burpo resonates with many people of faith. For them, the account is a confirmation of what they already believed, that life continues after death, and that there is a place waiting for those who follow in the way of light. For others, it is an opportunity to open the heart for a new perspective on eternity. Whether you are a believer or someone who still seeks answers, Colton's story invites everyone to reflect on what is beyond this life. It is not just a miracle, but an invitation to look more deeply at faith, hope, and love that transcends time and space. What did you think? Is everything all right to proceed to the next topic? Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and share this video with those who need to renew your faith. A family transformed by the miracle. Colton's near-death experience not only impacted his life, but also that of his whole family. Todd Burpo, Colton's father, was pastor of a local church and already had a deep faith, but what his son reported after surgery moved with the foundations of his belief. Todd he has always preached over the sky, but hearing such clear details of a child made him reassess the depth of his own faith. Sonia, Colton's mother, was also deeply affected. As a mother, she closely followed her son's suffering and underwent an emotional whirlwind during surgery. The anguish of losing his son was replaced by an indescribable joy to learn that he had survived and brought with him a message of peace and hope. Her faith was so intensely renewed that she began to see the world and her own beliefs under a new light. For the Burpo family, this event was not just a medical miracle, but a divine intervention. Colton's descriptions of the sky, the angels, and even the family members he had never known in life, like his sister who had died in a miscarriage, touched his parents' hearts very personal. The mother, who had never spoken to Colton about this sister, was thrilled to realize that he had found his daughter in the sky. This kind of thorough detail further strengthened the family's faith. Todd and Sonia decided to share this experience not only with their congregation, but also with the world. They knew that this story had the power to transform lives, just as they transformed theirs. With the release of the book, The Heaven is Really, Heaven is for Real, they opened the door for millions of people around the world to know Colton's miracle. The book quickly became a bestseller, impacting families, churches, and communities around the world. The Burpo family journey was not easy, especially when dealing with skepticism and media curiosity. Many people wondered if all this was just an invention or exaggeration. However, the Burpians kept firmly in their testimony, insisting that what Colton saw and felt was genuine and transformative. Experience has strengthened them as a family, joining them even more in faith and love for God. Over the years, the history of the Burpo family has become a source of hope for people who face difficult situations such as serious illness or the loss of loved ones. The message that heaven is real and that there is something beyond this life brought comfort and peace to many. Todd and Sonia will continue to share their story, hoping that more people can find comfort and renewal in their faith. This miracle has not only transformed a child's life, but brought a new vision to everyone around him. For many, it is a living proof that God still performs miracles these days and that divine love is present in every detail of our lives. All right so far? Can we go to the next topic? Remember to subscribe to the channel and share this video with friends and family so they can be inspired by this story too. Testimonies that impacted the world. Colton Burpo's story not only turned his family, but has played millions of people around the world. Since the book Heaven is Trust has been released, several readers have shared their own testimonies of renewed faith. For many, Colton's near-death experience was a personal confirmation of what they already believed, that heaven exists and that there is hope beyond this life. These testimonies come from people of different origins and beliefs, united by the hope that Colton's story brought. One of the most common reports is from people who lost loved ones and found comfort in the detailed description of the sky that Colton has made. They felt comforted to learn that their beloved could be in a place of peace, where they are cared and loved. For these people, Colton's story was like a light in the middle of pain, a confirmation that earthly separation is not the end, but the beginning of something bigger. In addition to bringing consolation, Colton's testimony also inspired many to deepen his faith. People who were far from their religious beliefs or who were in doubt about God's existence found a new spiritual purpose. They began to go to churches again, to pray more fervently, and to seek a more intimate relationship with the divine. Colton's miracle was a turning point for many, who saw in him a sign that God is present and active in his lives. Another significant aspect of the testimonies is the impact that history had on those facing serious illnesses. Many cancer patients, diseases terminals, and other debilitating conditions report that Colton's story brought new courage and inner peace. Knowing that there is something beyond the pain and suffering of this life, a place of light and love, has given these people the strength necessary to face their challenges with more courage and serenity. The story also deeply touched the hearts of parents who lost children. Listening to that, Colton found his sister in the sky. Many parents who went through the pain of losing a child found a new hope. The report that children continue to exist in a higher plane brought relief and a different view of death. These parents reported that, after knowing Colton's story, they came to see the loss in a less painful way, feeling that one day they will meet their children one day. Several religious leaders around the world have also spoken out about the impact of Colton's history. Many shepherds, priests, and ministers have shared the book with their congregations, believing that it offers a powerful message of faith and hope. For them, Colton's testimony is a clear sign that the supernatural still happens, and that it is proof of divine love and mercy to humanity. The transforming power of this story continues to spread, playing lives on various continents and in different cultures. Each shared testimony reinforces the idea that miracles are real, and that Colton's story is only one of many God uses to reach people's hearts. It has become a symbol of spiritual renewal and unshakable faith. And don't forget to like, subscribe to the channel, and share this video with those who can benefit from this powerful message of faith. The encounter with Jesus. What Colton saw in heaven. One of the most striking points of Colton Burpo's testimony was his encounter with Jesus in heaven. For many Christians, this part of history has brought a deep renewal of faith, for hearing from a small child such a detailed description of Christ touched the heart of millions. Colton described Jesus so vividly that even the most skeptical wondered what really happened at that time. Colton said Jesus welcomed him with a warm smile and open arms. He mentioned impressive details about Jesus, such as his physical appearance, the color of his tunic, and the brightness of his eyes. According to the boy, Jesus had a mark in his hands, as if they were scars of crucifixion blackheads, something that Colton, at that age, would hardly have learned in detail at home or in the church. This kind of report made the story even more credibility among Christians. Another detail that caught the eye was the description of Jesus with a white horse, a symbol that many associate with the passage of the book of Revelation. Colton stated that Jesus loved his horse and that he could see the majestic animal in heaven. This detail, though simple, was significant for many faithful, as it reinforces the image of Jesus as the King of Kings, mounted on his white horse as described in the Scriptures. In addition, Colton spoke about the immeasurable peace and love he felt in the presence of Jesus. According to him, the sky was a place full of light, vibrant colors, and angelic songs, all in harmony. Jesus, for Colton, was not just a distant figure, but someone close, loving, and compassionate. He mentioned that Jesus gave him a sense of security, as if nothing could hurt him while he was by his side. Jesus' presence in heaven also led Colton to understand that he personally takes care of all the children who arrive in paradise. In his account, Colton said there were many children in heaven, all being cared for and loved by Jesus. This was a point of great consolation for parents who lost their young children, as the idea that their children are being cared for by the Savior brought invaluable spiritual comfort. In addition to visual descriptions, Colton also talked about the words Jesus said to him. Although not all words were revealed publicly, Colton said that Jesus comforted him by saying that everything would be fine, that his mission on earth was not over yet, and that he should return to his family. This brief meeting was what gave Colton forces to return and tell the world what had lived. For many Christians, Colton's testimony about his encounter with Jesus, it is a confirmation of the divine presence in their lives. Hearing that the Savior is so loving and personal has caused many to renew their faith and seek a more intimate relationship with God. This account also aroused in many people a greater curiosity about heaven and life after death, leading them to reflect on their own spiritual journey. And if this story is touching your heart, be sure to subscribe to the channel and share this video with those who need a dose of faith and hope. The reaction of skeptics. questions and debates about the miracle. As in all supernatural history, Colton Burpo's account also faced his share of skepticism and questions. Since the story came to light, many wondered if what Colton experienced has been a spiritual experience or could be explained otherwise, such as a delirium caused by surgery, anesthesia, or a fertile imagination of a child. These questions generated heated discussions between religious, scientists, and psychologists. Some critics argue that almost death experiences can be explained by biological and neurological factors. They suggest that during extreme situations such as high-risk surgery, the brain can create intense views or sensations that one interprets as a spiritual experience. In the case of Colton, the most common criticism was that he could have heard stories about the sky and Jesus of his parents and the church, and that his account could somehow be a junction of this unconscious information. On the other hand, the defenders of Colton's history, including theologians and religious leaders, believe that the level of detail that the boy brought added to the fact that he mentioned people he never knew in life, like his aborted sister and his great-grandfather. It goes beyond what could be explained only by the imagination. For them, this experience is a clear proof that Colton actually visited heaven and that God allowed him to bring a message of hope to the earth. Another point of discussion among skeptics is the commercial success of the book and the movie Heaven is Real. Critics claim that the Burpo family could be benefiting financially with history, which raises suspicions about the authenticity of the report. However, the family always stated that its goal was not profit, but sharing the miracle with the world. For the Burpos, what happened to Colton was so extraordinary that it needed to be counted, regardless of criticism or repercussion. In addition to the questions about the authenticity of the experience, there are also those who raise theological debates. Some scholars argue that Colton's views on heaven may not be fully aligned with certain biblical teachings. For these critics, it is important that spiritual experiences are analyzed in the light of Scripture and that not all supernatural visions or reports can be considered as absolute truths. However, this critical approach does not diminish the emotional and spiritual impact that Colton's testimony had about millions of people. A relevant point to be mentioned is that, despite criticism, Colton's story continues to be widely accepted and loved by many Christians around the world. The success of the book and film reflects people's desire to believe in the supernatural and find hope in a world that often seems full of pain and uncertainties. For many, Colton's story is a living proof that miracles still happen and that the sky is real. In the end, the reaction of skeptics only strengthened the interest around history. The more questions came up, the more people wanted to know what happened with Colton. This curiosity generated rich debates about faith, science, and the supernatural, which continue to this day. Regardless of which side, Colton Burpo's account has deeply moved how many people see life after death. If this story has touched you in any way, take the opportunity to subscribe to the channel and share this video so that more people can be inspired by this miracle. The sky is real. The global impact of history. Since the release of the book Heaven is Real, the story of Colton Burpo has reached a world audience, turning lives on all continents. The book was translated into several languages and it has made a sales success, not only among Christians, but also among people of different beliefs, attracted by the message of hope and the exciting account of a child who says he visited the sky. Many people reported that by reading the book or watching the movie based on the story, their lives have changed significantly. Some readers have shared that, after knowing Colton's experience, they began to feel more peace about death and what comes next. For others, reading served as a starting point to reconsider their faith, especially those who had moved away from religion or were experiencing spiritual crises. The message that the sky is real has touched hearts and minds, creating a global movement of faith renewal. One of the biggest impacts was among those who lived for fear of death or who were facing terminal illness. Many reported that Colton's story brought comfort at difficult times, offering them a new perspective on death after death. Knowing that such a young child has experienced something so grand in heaven has given these people a renewed hope that there is something much greater than this life, a place of peace where pain and suffering have no time. Moreover, heaven is real, inspired several religious leaders around the world to use history as a tool for preaching and teaching. Churches of different denominations began to address the theme of after-death life, using Colton's testimony as a concrete example that heaven is a tangible reality. Pastors, priests, and spiritual leaders have used the book and film in sermons, Bible studies, and prayer groups, helping their congregations to reflect on eternity and how their lives should live in the light of this truth. The global success of the film, released in 2014, was also an important milestone. Starring renowned actors, the film led Colton's story to millions of people who might not read the book. The visual representation of the experience in cinema has deeply touched the audience, arousing tears, smiles, and, especially, a deep reflection on the meaning of life and faith. The scenes of heaven, with its incomparable light and beauty, have helped many imagine how paradise can be, reinforcing the belief that there is a place of joy and peace beyond this world. Colton's story also generated an interreligious dialogue, as people of different spiritual traditions began to share their own views on death after death. While the Christian view of heaven was central to the narrative, the impact of history transcended religious barriers. For many people, regardless of their faith, the story of a child who experienced heaven was an opportunity to reflect on spirituality, what really matters in life, and what he expects to us after death. Finally, Colton Burpo's legacy continues to inspire new projects, including lectures, documentaries, and discussions about the existence of the sky. The story of a supernatural experience lived by a 4-year-old boy has become a powerful message of faith that still deeply resonates in the lives of millions. She invites us to believe in miracles, to seek a deeper connection with the divine, and to keep our hearts open to hope and love. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel and share this video with others so that more lives can be touched by this amazing story. Renewing faith through the miracle, a message to the present day. Colton Burpo's miracle, more than an extraordinary event, has been an invitation to millions of people around the world to renew their faith. In times of uncertainty, crises, and personal challenges, the story of the boy who visited the sky emerges as a lighthouse of hope, reminding us that there is something beyond what our eyes can see. But how can this story inspire people's faith these days? First, Colton's account makes us reflect on the importance of keeping our spirituality alive. In the midst of everyday difficulties, many people distance themselves from their faith, either because of daily struggles, losses, or disappointments. Colton's experience reminds us that there is a greater reality, a spiritual plane that transcends our earthly pain. This invites us to reconnect with the divine, to seek a greater purpose in our lives and living more full, knowing that there is something beyond. Another central point is the comfort that this story offers to those who have suffered losses. Death is one of the most difficult realities to face, and many wonder what happens to their loved ones after this transition. Colton's testimony offers a clear message that heaven is real and that those we love are in a place of peace. For many, this certainty brings deep comfort, allowing them to find comfort in their losses and hope in future reunion. Colton's story also reinforces the idea that miracles still happen these days. We are often so immersed in the worries of the world that we forget that the supernatural can manifest in our lives. Whether through personal experiences, answered prayers, or small signs of the divine, Colton's story reminds us that God is always present, taking care of us and guiding us, even in the most difficult times. This miracle invites us to believe again in the impossible and to trust that God has a plan for each of us. Moreover, History challenges us to live according to the teachings of Jesus. Colton described Jesus as someone full of love and compassion, who personally cares for each of his children. This makes us reflect on how we are living our lives and how we are treating others. If heaven is a place of love, peace, and harmony, we are called to bring some of this heaven to earth through our actions, words, and attitudes. To live according to the love of Christ is, in essence, to prepare the way for heaven, not only for us, but for all around us. History also touches deeply on the issue of hope. In a world full of challenges, economic crises, natural disasters, and conflicts, many people lose hope and feel helpless. Colton's testimony comes as a renewal of this hope, reminding us that no matter how dark the situation, there is a light waiting for us at the end of the tunnel. This hope gives us strength to continue, to fight for better days, and to trust that divine love will prevail. Finally, Colton's experience is an invitation for all of us to reflect on our own faith and our relationship with God. If we believe that heaven is real, it should influence the way we live our lives here on earth. Colton's miracle challenges us to live with purpose, to seek genuine faith, and to spread this hope to all we find. This story is a powerful reminder that heaven is not just a final destination, but a reality we can experience in our daily lives through love, faith, and connection with the divine. And if you haven't done it yet, subscribe to the channel and share this video with friends and family so they can be inspired by this story of faith and hope.